We got a lot to talk about in today for the Detroit Lions news for the Detroit Lions. We get closer and closer. It's now about 3 weeks away, less than 3 weeks away from Lions training camp. More like a little bit 2 weeks away. Man, it's getting really close. And obviously, training camp, you got preseason, the regular season. So let's go. The call to action for subscribing worked out magnificently, and I really do appreciate it. So if you ain't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. Yeah, I'm a little bit disheveled. Yeah, it is not the biggest graphics right here. Why? Because I kind of feel good. So I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, the old quick way when you're not feeling the greatest. But I promise you there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming, obviously, on this channel if you're new to it. Just go ahead and hit that good old subscribe button. And we're going to get into the latest Detroit Lions news right now. And I'm going to go over my thoughts here. And we're going to have some fun here. It says Detroit Lions scored first better than most teams over the last two seasons. Talking about the first drive. Now, this is something that we noticed last year. And I remember we got to the point where we just said, why don't we just take the possession first every time? So we did. So that it was funny because I don't know if you guys remember watching this. You'd watch it. The Lions don't get the ball first, so we defer. And then the other team scores, and then we don't do anything. And so we just got tired of it, so we just started going first every time. And it worked out well. We kept scoring. So, yeah, the Detroit Lions it was a weird reversal how that happened. Generally speaking, the first drive you don't, but the Detroit Lions are just a good offense, and they can score on anybody, and so they're scoring on the first drive. Will they continue that this year? This is what I'm curious about, too. Because generally speaking, you want to defer. You want to give the first drive to the opponent. Second half, you have the ball to start the second half. That is generally what we all want, but it was the opposite for the Lions because it worked out for them with their aggressive nature and everything. So do you guys want to still continue to have the first drive in the first half? Do you want to switch it up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. NFL executive Jahmyr Gibbs already a top 10 running back. Wow. That's such a interesting statement to stay there. A top 10 running back already. I don't know about you guys, but if you've watched the game of football and you've watched a lot of running backs, I already have him as one of the best running backs in football right now. It is really easy to see. If you're a Lions fan, you already know this. You've watched Jahmyr Gibbs. You've seen his speed, his agility, his ability to break tackle, his burst off the line. Now he's got great vision. He follows his linemen, and he just continues to go forward. This guy, to me, I think everyone tells me Christian McCaffrey right now is the best running back in football, and he's a really good one. But when I watch Jahmyr Gibbs versus Christian McCaffrey in the NFC Championship game, Jahmyr Gibbs, in my opinion, is the better running back. He's just Christian McCaffrey is a great running back, but he's at the end of his career. Jahmyr Gibbs is a great running back in the beginning of his career. I think that he is a special one. Special. He says change of pace, fast, elusive, versatile. Anonymous AFC executive told ESPN dynamic in the passing game, not a typical north and south runner. You love the run-heavy offense, but he can break explosive plays at the snap of the finger, which is scary in our league. 100%. I don't know who this GM is, but I love the fact, and I bet you it's probably one that was going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. It wouldn't have shocked me, if it's a team that were maybe those early teams looking to get Jahmyr Gibbs in last year's draft. They wanted to get him. They seen the explosiveness that he brought to the offense, and you're seeing it right now. He's just a great running back. And if you put Gibbs as number one running back in football, I don't think it's a homer take. I think if you look at what you have this season, you got the best offensive line in football. This guy is a do-everything running back. You could see him explode. David Montgomery, great running back as well. And we want Jahmyr Gibbs probably to have the more of the shares this year than compared to Montgomery, so switch it up a little bit. But they're both really good running backs, and man, it's a good problem to have right now. And this team is darn good. And I like the fact that they're getting some love to him, but I would put him as much higher than that. Aidan Hutchinson, there's a lot of well-deserved hype around the Lions, and Aidan Hutchinson is 100% correct. A lot of good hype because it's legit. These players are good. They're good. The coaches are good. They're good. The leadership is good. The scouting is good. Everything is good. It is a real, legit operation, and it's crazy how fast it changed. 3 years, we completely upended this roster to a good, well-deserved football team that's getting the hype that it should be. It's not an overly hyped team. I think like the Jets, right? The Jets could be an overly hyped team, or you've seen in year past. Right now, I feel like the Bears are overly hyped team. And you're just like, why are they getting this due praise? The Lions are hyped, but they're good hype, right? It's like, yeah, it's legit. You can look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, they're a good team. You can look at the 49ers. Yeah, they're a legit team. They get the hype. They should get the hype. 100%. I think Atlanta should get some hype, right? So they're the good teams coming up here, and Hutchinson is correct. It's unreal. There's a lot of hype coming into this year, but I think it's well-deserved hype. Hutchinson told ESPN, I think a lot more guys on our team understand what this year is, and we understand we're ready. And you know what's really good about this team compared to years past? They're mad that they lost that game in the NFC Championship. They felt like they really should have won that game, and they really believed it because this is a well-oiled machine. You know what happened at the end of that. It is going to stick with them all year long. And if they get to a similar situation in a game, any game, where they're up by multiple points, I don't think they let off the gas this year. I think this is something in years past. Maybe you let off the gas and you play sound. I think they're so salty from it that they're going to keep going. But let me know in the comment section right now. Do you think that they'll play that prevent defense? Do you think they just keep their foot on the gas this year? I say keep foot on the gas. That's what they do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see, 6 bold predictions for the Detroit Lions in 2024. Let's see what they are by Christian Boer. Over there from All Lions Fan Nation, my guy John Macaron. Aidan Hutchinson tops 15 sacks. That's what I said. I said the Lions would get 15 sacks, or Hutchinson would get 15 sacks this year. I agree. Above 15 sacks, I'm going to take the over. And to me, that's up there with Defensive Player of the Year. Like, you're in that category, right? 15 and above. You're notching. I think you still got to get like 18 to 19, but you're in that conversation. I think Hutchinson year 3 will get to that level because he's really good. And we got more talent on the defensive line. Turnout leads all rookies interceptions. 100%, he had 5 last year. And this secondary is completely revamped. It's got more players on the defensive line, and in the secondary gets turnovers, and Terran Arnold's a turnover machine. I have no doubt he'll leave all rookies in interceptions. He did last year in college. Why wouldn't he do in an even better situation? And he's good. St. Brown earns MVP, but finished second in Offensive Player of the Year. Ooh, that's a bold statement because we all love St. Brown. I don't think it's bold considering the player. The player himself, you just, as we know him, you say, yeah, for sure. Bold considering the fact that I think he's popular, but he's not to that popularity yet. As you know, like when it comes to a Rookie of the Year or Player of the Year or whatever of the year, the popularity contest, it's more of a popularity contest. Earns MPV votes. Oof. I would love it. I hope this is the case. I think it's a little bit bold. I hope it's the case. I want this team to be popular. I want this team to be earning the votes. Let's see here. Gibbs has 2,000 all-purpose yards. I agree. I think he will get 2,000 all-purpose yards. Last year, almost 1,000 yards rushing. He literally was like 20 yards away from 1,000 yards rushing. He already had a ton of yards in receiving. So, yeah, 2,000 yards all-purpose. There's zero doubt in my brain he will do that. I don't think there's anybody out there that thinks he can't do that. 2,000 yards, Gibbs 100% can do that. Hendon Hooker starts multiple games. I hope that's not the case. I hope this is a bold lie prediction. That means Jared Goff got hurt. And as they're talking about here, it's because if Jared Goff there's injuries. It's not like Jared Goff sucks. That means they just thinks that Jared Goff gets hit up a little bit there, and he expects the Lions to play him to play a couple games. Now, look, the odds are that this is true because if you look in the last year, how many star quarterbacks didn't play a game last year? It was over half. We just hope it's not true. We don't want Jared Goff to get injured, but the odds are that he's correct. Let's just hope that's not the case. They talk about this, a player potentially being traded from the Detroit Lions, being John Kaminsky. From Mike, he did hear on the Sporting News, and he says that John Kaminsky could be the player that get traded before, like, it's the 53-man roster. I agree, it's possible, yeah, because he's a guy in the outs, and the Lions are always looking to upgrade or downgrade. The Detroit Lions are incredibly deep at the edge position. I disagree there. With Aidan Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport leading the team's talented group, therefore, John Kaminsky could potentially be moved this up-and-coming season. He will potentially take a back seat to Davenport and others. Now, I don't think that we're incredibly deep at the edge position, but I do agree that there is other players ahead of John Kaminsky. John Kaminsky took a pay cut last year. If he doesn't develop in training camp, the Lions could trade him or release him. Or he just doesn't make the cut, right? There's a lot of talent in this team, and he's got to face all the talent. He's got to make the roster. And Mitchell Argud, the edge rusher there, too, is making some noise, so that's going to be a problem with him. Makai Wingo. So there's a problem. So they could do it. I'm not, this is not a legit rumor. It's just a guy coming up with this idea. And I agree, 100%. That's a possibility, right? Let's see. Did I go over everything? It looks like I have gone over everything, and I didn't know why, because I'm not feeling that good, folks. I'm definitely under the weather right now. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts on today's Lions news. Sorry it wasn't the greatest graphics. It's not the best in the world. Just not feeling that great. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. With that said, folks, adios.